Welcome. This is Just with Melody, your Western podcast for fun, gist, and entertainment. I have two amazing people with me, and they are very special to me. And yes, we're wearing the same outfit because we're triplets. That's just the whole explanation. End of story. But the truth is, we just finished the choir ministration. It was glorious, and we're like, you know what? Let's do this, right? And I have with me Shalom, and this is Stephanie.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for joining me here. We had to just work out the time. The time wasn't working, but we worked it out. Last. Hallelujah. All right. So today we are going to talk about another episode on workplace culture, and that is friendship in the place of work. Now, I know some persons are always like, can there actually be friendship in the place of work? Can people actually be friends, or you just have to know that, whoa, friendship is different, work is different. After work, we continue friendship, but when we're at work, we don't do friendships. I know some persons also have, because of bad experiences, they could decide that I don't want to have friends in the place of work. But all of these things we're going to thrash here today because I have two amazing people who will be sharing their opinions, their ideas, everything as regards this topic. So I am going to start with Stephanie. Stephanie, is it possible to be friends with someone, to be friends with your colleague in the place of work?
Thank you very much, Melody. So, yes, I believe it's possible to be friends with someone in your place of work.
Sure.
I believe, it's possible to be friends with someone in your place of work. But I believe that a lot of people loosely describe what friendship means or what friendship is.
Okay.
So, one of the things I believe makes up a friendship is the interest that binds you all together. So, for example, you have childhood friends, and the reason you're friends is because of your upbringing or your childhood. That's why that was the interest, or that's the interest between the both of you. So you go to school and then you have classmates that turned friends. But what at the moment was binding you guys was school. So that's why you find it very common that people after they left school, most of their friends in school, in quotes, they are distant and far away from their friends, because at the moment the thing binding them, or the thing in common with the both of them, was school. So in the workplace too, you can have friendships, because friendship is all about work. Like I said, the interest. So the interest there, or what is binding the both of you there, is like the workplace. But then the definition of the friendship is now where the problem is. A lot of people confuse acquaintances with friends. Like your acquaintance are just people you know. And first of all, you have to understand it. First of all, the people at the workplace are your colleagues first. So when you have a deeper, something deeper than just work connecting you guys, then you can now build on that and begin to call it friendship. But if it's just work, email, and we have to meet a target, if that's just the only thing connecting you, I believe you cannot define that as friendship. You rather define it as colleagues or a work relationship or acquaintances. But then when you now take it a step further to build on that, then you now have something other than work connecting you guys, then you can now actually call that friendship. And that does happen in the workplace. It's common, and it happens in the workplace.
Wow, thank you. Shalom, let me know, do you think friendship is possible in the place of work?
Okay, thank you, Melody. So I think so. Not I think so, I know so. It's possible to build friendship in the workplace. It's possible. So personally, I feel like building friendship at your place of work has to do with the individual. Okay? The individual, getting to know the individual, and you don't have to be friends with everybody at your workplace. There are some persons that you just see them and you guys connect. Do you understand? And through that connection, from there, you guys are able to build that friendship. But there are some persons that you don't just seem to connect with them. I've had experiences for my places of work, and I know of people that I just meet and then we connect. Even while we are far away from each other, it feels like we're close because we have built that friendship and there's this connection that brought us together. So I feel it's possible at your place of work, and also setting boundaries for yourself to at your place of work is actually nice, because I believe that when I'm in a place, what I do is I observe. I don't just try to make friends with everybody. I'm not even the type of person who comes to a place and wants to talk. Except I become close to you. That's only when you will see me. I know you can relate to that when you came to the choir first. So I was always very quiet. Not because I didn't know how to talk, but I'd say because I didn't really have friends. People that would call my friends. So I was just always on my own. So when you connect with people, you can build that friendship over time. So I feel friendship is possible. And also creating your boundaries is also necessary as well at your place of work. Very, very necessary. Especially with people that you do not connect with. Like she defined friendship and acquaintances. So I feel like you should just understand that and from there you can build your friendship.
Okay, thank you very much. Having this clique thing, having cliques, I mean, in the choir now, they said we are cliques like this. If they don't see one person, they will ask the other person, where is this person? Where is this person? They're always asking us. So, also, in the place of work, do you think having cliques is something that is healthy? Because we see various situations where these people, and they are all working in the same place, and sometimes it breeds this. I don't know. It does not allow a free flow in the
Yeah.
workplace. So, does having clique in the place of work, is this something that is healthy or something that should just totally avoid, especially when you were a new person?
To be very honest, it's easy to condemn it when you're outside the
Yes.
circle. But when you're inside the circle, you will see every good and every benefit in being in a group or being with a group of friends. So if you're coming in and you see these cliques, you're like, I don't belong here. You're already telling yourself and putting yourself back, and the likelihood for you to even socialize or even try to approach anybody to try to build a friendship with them is very, very low. So from the newcomer, it's not healthy because they are kind of already scared and they already have this like pre-notion that, oh, these people are their own people. So if I go into them, it's like I'm the intruder into them. So for the outsider, it's not very healthy. But for the insider, to be very honest, there are benefits and there are also disadvantages. I mean, everything has their benefits and disadvantages. I mean, because being in a group or being with having a clique of friends in the office or a clique of people that are in the office, it means that you have someone that can always defend you, someone that is also accountable for you, and someone that is always there to keep you on your toes. So, for example, you can't tell your boss maybe you step out of the office to do something, and then the reason to your boss might not be a really valid reason for you to leave the office, for example. But you can come up to your friend in your group, oh, I'm leaving for this so reason. So, but when a question is asked, oh, where is this person? Your friend knows how to defend you. They will not exactly say that, but they know how to, they just know how to, they're just there to defend you. Like, they will not purposely see something that is going wrong or that's supposed to go wrong on your behalf and just keep quiet. So like having that there is like that's like one of the very great benefits of like having cliques and groups. So you know that. But then the disadvantage is that when someone does something, they assume that it's everybody involved. So for example, something goes wrong, and then just because of how close you guys are, or because you guys are always together, or because you guys have formed this group, they just have this notion that okay, once one for all for one. So one person is wrong, everybody too is wrong. So like that's the disadvantages. But if you look at the benefits and weigh it with the disadvantages, I mean, you'll be able to see it and be able to make decisions for yourself. But personally, I believe that if you look at before choosing cliques and groups, I believe that like she rightly said, you should look at the individuals you are going into these things with. Like you should know like okay, your values align, and most of the things that you have in common they align. So like you know that okay, I'm going into this group or we're this clique of friends and we have a common interest that align value-wise, moral-wise, faith-wise, everything-wise. So you know and you're confident you get in your group of friends. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Shalom. Let me give this scenario. Like you are in a place of work and there's somebody who wants to be friends with you. I mean, this person actually is beyond we have a work meeting, there's an email for you to do. So this person, you know that this person is actually coming close, and this person is intending to be friends with you. We know our adults of these days, we don't really say, I want to be friends with you. We just feel that, me and this person connect, so we don't be friends, So, and you're already feeling that, but you, for whatever reasons known to you, you do not want to be friends with this person. How do you communicate with this person? Do you directly tell the person that, guy, relax, do your thing, now walk now with you?
Okay, I think this question is a personal thing for me because I actually have that experience
Okay.
of someone who is trying to come close to me, but I don't want to come close to the person because I've actually observed this person and I've seen that the person is just like the opposite of me. The person is always so just the opposite of me. So I just don't want to. I don't want to. There's something I see in her that I don't want to see in myself.
Okay.
There are some things that I hear her say, some kind of. I just don't want to. I just don't want to be like that because it matters the company that you keep.
Sure.
Definitely, the company you keep will influence you. So I try as much as possible. So what do? I what I did was I just body language. I didn't directly because I cannot directly tell her that. Some persons can, but me I can't. I cannot directly tell her that because I don't want to be friends with you. So sometimes when she's having some kind of conversations that I know that these things I don't want to hear them. I'm not supposed to be hearing these kind of things. I just find a way of excusing myself. And when she tries to talk to me, I just try to distract myself with one thing or the other and try to give her the message, the picture of the fact that I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be close to you. You understand? I really don't know if she got it, but I know I did that for a while and I didn't really get any. She was still talking to me. She was still doing all that thing, but me, I was just giving her space. I tried as much as possible to give her space because I noticed that when I tried to pull out, she still comes. So what I did was I just gave her space, enough space, but she left my space. So I don't give her enough space.
Because some people, they will never see, no matter how you see, the fact that you are running, they will follow you
Yes.
they will follow you like this.
And she didn't quite get it.
Yes,
She didn't quite get it.
someone is not talking to you.
Someone like me, I'm very observant. If I'm in a place, what I do is I observe. So if you are giving me that, you're giving me this kind of attitude, I'll just be like, okay, I'll take my time to try to understand this person. See that this person, at this point, this person is not in the right state of mind. Then if I probably react to you, this is the normal way I will react to you, and you give me that same attitude, I'll just be like, no, this person wants me to give him or her space. So I'm very good at observing and giving space. So I do that. But for some persons, they are not.
Definitely, what would you do in this situation?
And to be very honest, I believe it depends on the individual. Like there's some people that need to be told straight up, I don't want to be your friend, or I don't want to understand you, or I don't want this kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So for example, you're coming from the instance of the girlfriend wanting to be your friend. But if you're coming from the instance of one maybe old man, married man or something disturbing you need to tell them straight up because some of them don't even get the language. When you try to do it in body language and try to make excuses every time, some of them you actually have to tell them straight. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Or I don't see us, having a relationship outside work. Yes, some people would eventually, take a recall and then, want to now want on what you said to have an effect on your work, and then yes, somehow giving you the attitude. But to be very honest, they can only do it but for a while because when everything that you need to do is done on your end and it's just on that person, and you always escalate to like the person in a higher position. Oh, I have done this and I have done that. I believe that with time they will actually get the message and they will bounce back. Like you guys might not really be as close in the office again, but they would have gotten the message, and I mean that's your point. Another thing I've also learned is that whenever you want to, do this kind of things, I believe that you don't even engage them once or give them an allowance. So there's this person I have at work, right? There's this thing that this person told me to help them with just once, and I was like, okay, it's just for me to just assist once. And since that once, it has become something that it's now like the person assumes that it's now my duty every time. So I believe that sometimes you have to like deny them even that once, because once you open it, you are in for it, darling. You are in for it. Like I know sometimes it's easy to like want to care for somebody. Oh, you're not feeling so well, do this. That's the kind of person I am. But if I know that I don't want a relationship with you, I am not even going to do that. I see you, I know you're not feeling well. I wouldn't say anything. I will just walk. Because the moment I tell you that, you pick on his ass, this person wants to move, or this person cares for me, oh, this person this, or this. So just giving that room of allowance once, you're already giving them signal. So I believe that, like she said, that boundary of not even giving an opening at all is very, very essential for people that you don't feel like you want to, build a friendship with or build a relationship with. Yes, that's what I also think.
Okay. Shalom, you mentioned boundaries. How do you create boundaries that will not affect you and your colleagues, especially those people that you know that you have to work with all the time?
Okay. Funny thing is, the questions they're asking me are kind of like personal questions because I've had experience of this place I worked, and there was this guy who was he was not my boss, but he was the one I was reporting to. But he was talking about a relationship with me, but then I told him no, I'm not interested. So he wanted to start making it difficult for me. But then I told myself, okay, how do I do this? Because I have to report to him. Whether I like it or not, I have to report to him. So what I did is I tried as much as possible to not be disrespectful to him. I respected him. I did all even though I was getting harsh treatment from him, I tried as much as possible. And then I told him, I remember I told him bluntly, and the moment he started becoming harsh to me is when I told him that, see, me, I can't do this with you. I'm not interested. I'm here for work. I don't want to have anything. And besides, even if I want to do something like relationship, like I've spelled out the things I want, and I don't even see them in you. Do you understand? So I'm not even interested. Let me just tell you now, straight and blunt. So instead of making it kind of difficult for me, but I try as much as possible to be respectful. In as much as for every work I do, he always finds a fault in it. Do you understand? There's always a fault. There's always a fault in everything I do. Even when I'm trying to do my best. So, but then I still do my work. I still do all the reports and everything that I have to do to make sure that. But I told him plainly to create that boundary. Just give the person the respect that the person deserves, even though the person acts as though he or she doesn't deserve that respect. So just give the person their respect. It might even be a junior colleague. I've had experience of not a junior colleague. She got there before me, but we were like in the same pace. So, but for some reason, she was giving me attitude, which I didn't know why. For me, I didn't bother to ask. I was just doing my work, and I was always nice to her, despite anything. I was always very nice to her, and I just gave her respect. Even when she tells me, "Come and do this, come and do," which I'm not supposed to even do. You understand? I just smile and then I do it, just to create that healthy working relationship. Because I didn't want us to have any quarrel or any other thing. Even though I knew that okay, this girl is beefing me, but I just didn't want to accommodate it. I feel like just giving them the respect they deserve, and then that can create boundaries for you. Just giving them the respect they deserve and disconnecting yourself from them. Anything that has to do with personal stuff, disconnect yourself. Then just focus on the work while you're there. For me, that's it.
That girl is lucky. She's lucky. I'm gonna break bottle in her head. I'm gonna scatter it. Stephanie, Stephanie, what would you do in this situation? How would you create boundaries in the place of work?
So the thing about boundaries is a lot of the people are very different. So for example, someone can be really quiet, and then because they're just quiet, people just think they can ride on them, they can ride on them. So if you're that kind of person that's quiet, and because of that, people want to use that, I believe what you can do to create a boundary is to remove your hand. Yes, it's not going to be very easy because I mean, by nature, you're quiet. But when they now, because if it's because of that quietness that people want to respect your boundaries, then I believe you should be more vocal. Then there's some people that when you just tell them something and they want to retaliate and they want to have an adverse effect on work, I believe that having things in documentation is really good. So what do I mean? For example, they want to always jeopardize your work. So sometimes they will tell you to do something by mouth, okay? And you're not actually supposed to do the thing, or maybe you're supposed to do it, but it's not like they'll just try to say it by mouth, and then maybe something goes wrong, and you say this person told me, and they're like, because they just want to be mean to you, they're like, so what I usually do in that case is I really make sure that everything you say or you do is documented, so that if something is supposed to happen because of I did my job, or you want to just jeopardize it, right? It's always documented, so that way you always like have the upper hand. Like, because you cannot go back on your word or go back on your values because of that person, and you cannot also let your work to suffer. So in that case, you are kind of in a tight box, but just always make sure that it's always documented, so that in case that person thinks like, this is going to happen if you don't do this, and you have it documented, you can always refer back to it. Like, you always have something to fall back on with that one. And I also believe that you need to also be speaking to people. To be very honest, no. For example, now there was a period there I had a really tough time with this colleague, and so I had to speak to someone else in a higher position, to assist me there, because like sometimes it can actually get that bad that you actually have to bring someone in to settle it. So like sometimes I believe that you should actually speak up to someone to assist you, to help you, or to give you that authority that you need to maintain your stand, right? And still like talk to that person to like behave. This is work is work should not suffer for this thing. And like I said before, don't indulge them in anything at all. Like maybe you've done it once, and then because of that, they now feel like, okay, this is not a boundary for this person just likes it. I still feel like you should still find a way to tell them off again and still enforce it and still give them room. Because that giving room thing, it's something that seems very easy, but like people will always do the same thing again if you never tell them. Some people, you said something about, but some people will never still get it. So sometimes you actually always have to say it again. So I believe like still enforcing it, and then having people that also enforce it on your behalf. So like let everybody know, let you be known for this thing. I start doing something. I say when you're going to a place when you're going to a new place or any place of work, I said enforce your standards. Let people know what is right by you, and let people know what is right by you. So anything that is not consistent with what you've enforced at the beginning, they won't even dare bring it near to you. There's some people that, okay, at the beginning there was a time that we had a kind of party, and there's some people ask, do you drink? There are some people that tell themselves, I don't drink. So in another time when there's a party, they don't even bring drinks to these people, because from the onset they've already established that this is the kind of person I am. I don't take drinks, so you don't bring it to me. So I believe at the beginning it's very important to set your boundaries at the beginning. But like I'm not talking about other measures you can take. That's what I discussed at the beginning. If you maybe didn't say it at the beginning, or you're not quite knowledgeable about how things run and all that. And then she said something about respect. In my company, we are on a first name basis. Everybody's got their first name. So there are some people that might want to ride on that. So what I usually do is that I notice that no, this thing is progressing like the way I don't want it to go. I will switch back. I will repair. There's nothing how you calling you a list. There's nothing how you calling you a list. I'll put it back. Is it first name basis that is making us do this? Revert back to the normal way. Like you guys might have a normal way. Maybe it's WhatsApp you used to try before, and then because of that person feels like they are close enough, switch back to the formal way. Don't be stop. We are still doing the same thing, right? I send you an email. I can't send you WhatsApp again. I'm blocking from seeing my personal status because I don't want you to, have that leverage that we're close. No, we're not. We're just colleagues, and we should remain that way. Like, so there are these kind of things that you can try to switch up, so that you know that, okay, I'm establishing these boundaries. Maybe we used to go to the same restaurant, or maybe we used to eat in the cafeteria at the same time. Switch it up. You go first, I'll go next. So I'll go earlier than you and go. Like, these things help you to enforce these boundaries. Like, the very subtle things that you think maybe they are not necessary, eventually they will pick on it and they will see it. So I believe that these are the things that you can really establish and enforce like boundaries in the place of work.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, see, once I get you as a new person, don't really know me. Depending on the place or how we met, if it's a work relationship, immediately I save your number. I'm going to block you to my status. And the reason why normally I don't usually do it before, but because of previous experiences I've had, I mean, somebody that just work relationship, all of a sudden, and this one is even a client, so it's not even a colleague, it's a client. Like, wow, you look so beautiful. Wow, your picture is nice. What I don't know. Of course, someone will say the person is just complimenting you, but after a while, you will start chatting me up. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. is not something related to work. How are you doing? How was work today? Have you eaten? From where to where? How, for what? And then you're like, are you free this weekend? Because once you start allowing them, once you start responding to them gradually, and it's not even somebody that I even want to maybe become further with as a friend or something. But when you're bringing that, no, I stop it immediately. So that's why if it's anything work relationship, I make sure immediately I save your name, I'm entering WhatsApp, I'm going to block them. Someone said there's no need to do that, but because it is, if it was a business, right? If it was a business line, right? There will be nothing that I'll be posting there. I won't post anything on the WhatsApp, on the business and WhatsApp stuff, status to be seen anything. But because it's a personal one, and you are seeing my personal stuff there, they all just feel that okay, we are now friends, we are now good together. I like this girl, I stop it immediately. So that was our status. For those of you who have not gotten that,
Actually, I agree with you because I know that I agree with what Stephanie said about first time, and I think that is one thing that I really need to learn because sometimes I don't want to hurt people's feelings, and I'm very considerate. You understand? So I just tend to take some things, but when you see it progressing, you just wish that from the initial stage you had just told them.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I actually agree with that because at some point I know that I had to go and start deleting numbers because I didn't like what I was seeing. You understand? So I had to go and start.
you can even mute their status. So
Yeah, me, I don't just stress myself.
Mute
I just
them.
delete your number straight. So that's just it.
Okay, finally, let's talk about dating in the workplace. Most companies have policies that there should be no dating. Are there any reasons why? Because I know some people will still date eventually, people that don't have strong hair. Because what if the place of work is where God Almighty have decided that you are going to see the love of your life, right? I don't know, is there a particular reason? Do you think there's a particular reason why companies say no dating in the workplace?
Yes, there's a particular reason. Although I am not 100% in support of the reason, let me first put that out there.
Okay, let us know.
But the reason is because for you that is in love, in quotes, or that for you that wants to date someone in your place of work, you're only thinking about how you guys make you feel at the moment, you guys interest at the moment. But the company is looking at it in long term. Okay, these people are dating now. As they're dating, work is it's gonna move fast, everybody's gonna do it because I'm dating first,
Yeah.
But what happens if you guys eventually don't end up together? Or what happens if there's like something really bad smells your relationship? Then now it has an adverse effect on your work. So that's why they are really strongly against that because they know that for the moment work will be going over smoothly. But later, if anything happens, now it's go pay. So they're like, no, we want to be on the safe side. Please don't just engage in relationship. It also happens even in some not everybody, even some organizations, some religious institutions in churches, they will tell departments, don't go and be dating inside this department. Why? Because they know that okay, for the department to move forward, these people that are the leaders are supposed to work in harmony and have a good relationship. It doesn't have to be friendship, but they will have to have a good relationship. But then the moment the relationship broke up because someone was talking to that, this one, that one, then everything becomes a while. When the leader is saying so, this one is going the opposite direction, like you will just be, like this, and can two work together and say they agree? No! So that's one of the reasons I believe they say that, but does not mean that is I don't support it, does not mean that successful relationships don't happen. I mean, we've had a lot of people that did it in the workplace and they got married eventually.
Yeah.
And that's like a boost on the company because my wife is there, I don't want my wife to suffer, my husband is there, I don't want my husband to suffer. So they're looking out for each other. So that are not 100% supportive. I see they are raising us. Exactly.
What is your take on dating in the workplace?
Well, like she said, it has its own advantage and disadvantage. I don't really have much to answer it because she basically said most of the things I wanted to say. So it has its own advantage and its own disadvantage. It depends on the individual. Is it long term or short term? So I feel like that's why organizations say no, don't do this. So it depends on the individual.
For me, it's just because most of the places I've had to work, I've never seen any brother that catch my eye. If I do see a brother that catch my eye, I'm gonna go for him. I'm gonna tell my boss, sir. But anyway, thank you guys so much for doing this with me. Thank you for coming here, Stephanie. Thank you so much. And thank you, Shalom, for being here. This, once again, is Just with Melody podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you share this link with everybody. Make sure you also let everyone know that Workplace Culture Season 8 is still live and running. And we will see you. I will see you. I will see you next week with another guest. Until then, bye.